Hi everyone! One of our goals here at MetaJungle is to help all members of our community succeed. One of the ways we're doing this is through free resources and tools, which is why in this artist resource video, we spoke with Collector Alphatrilogy, who gave us some suggestions and tips for one-of-one artists when curating your collection. So let's get to it.
So if I was a one-of-one artist, so an artist that's creating unique pieces, I would create a collection, limit the number of pieces in that collection. So maybe 20 or 30 pieces tops.
Mm-hmm.
And what I literally would do is I'd write the story of that collection and what that collection was about. I would say, this collection is going to have 20 pieces or have 30 pieces, whatever that piece number is. I would tell everyone up front what that's going to be. And then when I would drop maybe 3 to 5 of the pieces of the 20.
Mm-hmm.
And I would price them at an entry point to where people can afford it. And so you've got to find an attractive entry point for that art. Then when those pieces sold, I found collectors and buyers for those pieces, I would drop my next 3 to 5 pieces. And then those 3 to 5 pieces, I would price higher. And so I would slowly work my price up and not get crazy with it, because you don't want to price your existing collectors out. You want them to be able to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
But then the idea is to get a collection sold out. And if you're an artist and you can get a collection sold out, that's a huge plus for you, especially if you've done it with collectors that appreciate your work, because those people aren't going to dump your artwork and, destroy the floor price for your art. And what happens then, if you can sell that out, the price of your art is going to, just by nature, it's going to be higher, because if a collector has bought your art, they appreciate it, they like it. If they put it up for sale, they're going to sell it at a higher price, which is really good for you because it establishes a higher value for your artwork.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of artists don't necessarily understand that. They don't have somebody helping them make marketing decisions and explaining that.
And it seems like there's some elements of supply and demand that factor into that as well.
Absolutely. It's all about supply and demand and in the art world.
Mm-hmm.
And so I am very much a Keynesian economist. Keynesian economist. But I believe in supply and demand. And in the real world, it's interesting. In the art world, you'll see most artists, their art becomes valuable after they die. And it's kind of a crazy thing, but it's reality. And the reason for that is that's the only time you know what the supply actually is, because all of a sudden the supply is done and okay, this is over.
Mm-hmm.
And so as demand increases, there's no more supply. And so price obviously has to go up. Well, when an artist is alive and they're creating work, that supply number is, no one knows. It's an unknown number. And so it automatically suppresses price.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's always exceptions, and you'll see people, we've seen it recently with some, insane priced art being sold. I'd say insane. I'm sure it's worth every penny of it. But, some pieces that are selling for tens of millions of dollars by living young artists, which is, it's amazing. It's incredible for the art world. But that's a very rare thing. It's not like it's an anomaly. It's not the norm. And so on the collector level, people that are collecting, investing, they're very conscious of supply. And so an artist has to be very conscious of that. So it's not a good idea to just churn out as many things as you can and just keep putting them on OpenSea. It's one of the things I see. It's kind of a problem that some artists that are new to that space do. They'll create a collection, and it might have the bases. It could have been great because it's, a limited number. It's only 20 or 30 pieces, but they sell one piece or two pieces. And so they start another collection and they put 20 or 30 more pieces out there. And then somebody might buy one of those pieces and they put 20 or 30 more pieces. And so they destroy their own market. And so if I go in and I buy a piece from that collection, it's not going to have any impact. I mean, they're going to sell one more piece, but it's not going to really help them because they have flooded the market themselves. And I hate seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
If I could do something to like, hey, don't do that, it's going to hurt. But I can't normally. I try, and I try to give people suggestions, and I try to give them feedback. But I have to do that in a way that, I'm not all knowing. And I also don't want to step on someone's toes. I mean, everyone has their own decisions to make, and they do things their way. But there's definitely a good way to go about it, and a not as good way. And then some artists may not care. I mean, it's, they want to create art. They want people to have the art, and that's great. They might not be worried about price or actually selling it,
Sure.
but that's each artist. That's their own decisions to make. But if they're worried about, the selling their art and creating a market for it among collectors, there's definitely some things that they can do that will make them more effective at that and better at it.